Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm going to bring you some Formula 1 2022 gameplay. For me, one of the more exciting features was being able to test both the safety cars. Obviously we're in the full release now, and this is bundled in with the Champions Edition. Obviously up first, as you can see, we have the Mercedes AMG Black Series safety car. Probably the most extreme looking safety car I think I've ever seen in any motorsport. A really awesome looking machine. Obviously, you know, by the sounds of it, if you watch F1, the drivers are pretty happy to, follow it around and stay behind it. There's no complaining that, it's slow or anything like that, or, a slouch. On the other hand, we have the Aston Martin Vantage safety car. This is one that gets countless complaints from the drivers. Was a big thing about it driving too slow. I believe at the Australian Grand Prix around that time. So yeah, I've kind of thought I'd sort of pit them together and see if it is true, see if the Aston Martin really is that slow, and kind of just see what results we get. One thing to note, that obviously this is just a game. We can't actually see the individual stats for the cars. I believe you can sort of see more information on them, but obviously we don't have stat bars to say like speed, handling, brakes, etc. And they are rather stiff to drive. Obviously this is early days, so I'm guessing once we get used to them, we'll probably get maybe a little bit different result, but I kind of have my suspicions on which one will be the quickest. So up first we have the Mercedes AMG, obviously an absolute ridiculous looking safety car, that real massive big wing. Yeah, I think it just personally looks awesome. Very striking red colour on it. So what can I really say about this car? Obviously I kind of went over them individually, and I thought obviously when I put them together there's not really much more I can say. Definitely this car is a little bit more lively. Once you sort of take some of the assists off, you really find that you have to be quite careful putting the power down. If you're too, on the power too soon, it really does like to sort of snap and try and get away from you. Obviously the handling is pretty much, really different from what you kind of expect, and obviously when you're playing an F1 game you're trying to brake as late as you can and such, but it's it's not possible in these cars. So changing up that driving style is really going to be a massive factor to your enjoyment with these. Obviously I believe these don't actually have their own individual challenges like some of the other the more supercar ones. I believe you can only really use these in time trial, or so it seems. You may correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean overall on a lap it felt okay. It didn't feel too bad, but like I said, it's just bringing that power in gently and not being too sort of aggressive getting on the power, or else this thing will kind of try and spin you around. But overall not a bad lap. As you can see, my personal best previously was set by this car, and then obviously when we go over the line we're going to get a 136.716. So next up, the car that gets all the complaints, the Aston Martin Vantage, a safety car. Is it really that slow? So when driving it, one thing to note, it just feels like it's a lot more stable when you put the power down. There's less of that sort of jerk if you're a little bit too aggressive on the power. No real complaints there, very stable feeling car. But I did notice that it does like to pretty much run wide, and it just feels a lot more, I don't know, just quite a bit slower, I guess, especially on like in the straight line and such. And the acceleration, you just feel like, although it's more stable out of the corners, it's a lot, less willing to just get up to speed like the Mercedes does. It is quite a noticeable difference as well, and I think you're basically going to see it at the end. Obviously my lap time won't come up, but I will take you to the leaderboard to kind of see where it's at. And you will see basically a difference between my Mercedes lap time and my Aston Martin lap time. But yeah, I mean handling wise, it just doesn't feel half as good as the Mercedes, and that's kind of my major complaint there. The speed, again, it's noticeable, but it's not like too bad. It's not to the point where if you're not paying attention you're not really going to notice it too much, but obviously that may be down to stuff like motion blur, etc. But the one thing you will find that in the corners is definitely not as good as the Mercedes. The Mercedes obviously using that aero to really good effect. There's a lot less aggressive aero on the Aston Martin. So we're going to see where we're going to pass the line, and overall it's pretty bad. It's basically overall going to be a 1 minute 41.5, so a massive time difference there between obviously the AMG and the Aston Martin. So overall the quickest one, and I think to be honest we all knew it was going to be, is the Mercedes AMG Black Series. I really cannot fault it. It's an absolutely awesome car to drive. So if, in my opinion, you know, if you don't get them as a bundle and you can buy them individually, definitely pick the Mercedes over the Aston Martin. Yeah, the Aston Martin sounds cool, looks cool, but yeah, the Mercedes is just a better, performing car. So that's going to be this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that supports these videos each and every day. Yeah, take care. Cheers, guys.